1978. It was my birthday, my 30th birthday. And in rock and roll, 30 is a weird age. You're done at 30. You're supposed to die at 30. But my dad was a musician, so I wanted to be a musician. Famous jazz musicians came around the house. Charlie Parker, Duke Ellington, Dizzy Gillespie, all these people. I wanted to be like my father. He left us. He split. I was so mad. I said, I'm going to become one of the best in the world.
There's a very dear friend who lives in California here right now. Mr. Caleb Quaye is going to play on this number with us.
The last gig I remember playing here was when I sat in with a reunion of the original Mothers of Invention. I have no idea what we played, but it was an event. The circus had truly come to town. I was with Hall & Oates at the time. Things were not going well, in my life. I was pretty, depressed about a lot of things and wasn't looking for God or Jesus or anything, wasn't looking for religion. I was looking for answers to this existence we call life. I'm sat in this chair and all of a sudden I hear this voice just break through my world and speak to me. In my limited understanding, all I knew was that I had been spoken to. I just didn't know by whom. So I sat there and made a little promise to myself. I said, well, one day I'm going to find out who that voice belonged to. At that time, my life was just in the pit.
When I did realise that he was into drugs, I knew that it was no good me having a big argument with him.
I'm dealing drugs, I'm selling guitars, it's just like crazy,
When they're in drugs, they have to do it for themselves, So I just stayed back, I was still his great friend, and I prayed. And secretly I cried, like all mothers do.
I became friends with this great guy, Chester Thompson, who was Phil Collins and Genesis drummer, And he told me him and his wife are Christians, and how great, that didn't mean anything, they went to church, great, It got round to Easter Day 1982, and he invited me to go to church. When I first walked in here, I thought, there's no way this is a church. This area was packed with people, beginning of the service, doing the fellowship and all that, And so I thought, well, there's no way this is a church because these people are happy.
I think there were some changes in his life where he had to say, okay, I better deal with this situation right now. But I remember when all that was going on in his life, and I really felt for him, and I thought, I'm going to leave him alone because I was still a major party animal, and I thought, it sounds like this guy needs God and a bit of peace in his life right now. And he found that.
I'm sat in the church during the worship time as people are singing, the same voice I heard in the hotel room speaks to me right there, second time. There was this one tune that caught my attention, which was a song called In My Life, Lord, Be Glorified Today. It just goes round and round like that, Being a musician, you start to analyze the chord changes and everything. Oh yeah, that's nice changes, that's a pretty tune, But I couldn't hear all of the lyric except one word, which is today. Today was the only word I heard in the tune. And every time they would repeat it, it seemed to get louder and louder, And so as I'm thinking of, what is going on here with this one-word tune, the same voice I heard in the hotel room speaks to me right here in this place, in the middle of that song, and says to me, Caleb, it's time for you to come home to me today because I have a new life for you. And then the light bulb went on and I suddenly recognized that was the same voice I'd heard in the hotel room. That was the same voice I promised myself one day I would find out who it belonged to. And I suddenly realized, this is Jesus.